Steelers Nation, we are live. Welcome to Steelers Talk Live here. We are going to have a great show today, guys. It's one I've been waiting for a while now. We got NFL Combine this week. We're going to be talking about all the latest Steelers draft news and rumors. We're coming to you from Chat Sports Studios here in Dallas, Texas, but I want to know where you are watching the show from today. Shout out your city or town in the comment section. I want to know where you guys are watching from. Steelers fans all over the world, all right? It's one of the most diverse fan bases in the world. All over the planet there are Steelers fans. I want to know where you are watching from right now. Not Webb's World is in the chat. He is from Miami. Where are we at, guys? Tell me where you guys are from here. Phoenix. Jerry Merritt is from Phoenix. We got Edinburgh, Pennsylvania. Dominic Schrader, what's up, my guy? Welcome into the show. Good to see your face in here. Who else is in the chat right now? Let me know. Let me know who's in the chat right now, guys. Where are you guys from? Shout out your city. Give you guys some shout outs here. Declan C is from Tallahassee, Florida. CJ Haynes, the artist, Reno, Nevada. Cincinnati, Ohio for Jeffrey. Chase Flatty, I'm from Sugma. Sugma? What is that? I don't. Where is Sugma? Where is Sugma, Chase? Let us know.
Oh, he got you.
He did get me. He did get me, man.
Got you bad.
That's great job. All right, we're 2 minutes into the show, Chuggs. We're 2 minutes in the show, and I've already got. I've already got Chuggs. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. That was a good one. That was a good one, Chase. Very, very good. What's up, Chuggs?
Oh, my God.
Jeremy Chuggs, our producer for Steelers Talk Live. How are you doing today, Chuggs, on this beautiful Thursday?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, well, I can tell. You're laughing up a storm over there, man.
It's going to be a great day.
I mean, Chase got us going with that excellent. I don't even know what you call that.
It was a burn.
It was a burn. It was a burn. All right, guys. So today is actually a special day in Steelers Nation because it is Big Ben Roethlisberger's birthday. Yes, number 7, the future Hall of Fame quarterback, at least in my opinion. It is his birthday today, 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ben. Happy birthday to you.
There we go. All right, guys. Go in the chat right now and tell me, is Big Ben Roethlisberger a first ballot Hall of Famer? Now, we know he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer no matter what, but is he going to be that first ballot, that elite class of player that becomes a first ballot Hall of Famer? To me, I am a yes on this one, Chuggs. 2-time Super Bowl champion. I mean, some of the most clutch and iconic moments in NFL history have come from that guy's hand, and it's just, he's a Steelers legend. He's a Steelers legend.
A lot of stuff coming from that hand.
Yeah. All right.
I would say, though, the better question is, and I think this would be a great debate for you and Marshy.
Okay.
Higher on the all-time QB list, Big Ben, Eli.
It's definitely Big Ben. He's such a better – so they have the same amount of Super Bowls, and Big Ben absolutely just wipes the floor with Eli Manning in terms of regular season numbers. Like, I don't think that's even a debate, honestly.
What do y'all think, Big Ben or
Big
Eli?
Ben or Eli? Let us know in the comments section right now. I'm definitely going number 7. I mean, I'm seeing all ones. I don't see a single 0 in the chat right now. I think that the Big Ben is definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, you look at the career numbers, the iconic catch with Santonio Holmes in the Super Bowl, one of the most iconic catches in NFL history. Like pinpoint accuracy right to the pylon, right in the back of the end zone. I mean, he's one of the most clutch performers in the league when he was a part of the Steelers. Did it for a long time. He's definitely a Steelers legend. So shout out to Big Ben on his birthday. All right, guys, I want to give some shout outs now to some people that turned on notifications and subscribed to the channel, got into the comment section early on this week's videos. John Pell, Lincoln Seibel, Rad Swag, Josh Balderas, and Norman Pryor were the first people to subscribe, or not subscribe, the first person to comment on the last 5 videos we've done on the channel. So appreciate you guys for turning on notifications. If you want to be on next next week's Noti Gang, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and then get in the comment section early so you can get on, or you can get a shout out on one of these live shows. And speaking of today's live show, we got some great topics to discuss. It is NFL Combine Week. Jalen Carter left yesterday. He is back in Indy today. It's going to be very, very interesting. We're going to be breaking down his situation. CBS Sports had a mock draft. Very, very interesting pick. I'm going to be reacting to that as well. And then I have 15 first-round draft targets that I'm going to be discussing. I'm going to have a top 10. I'm going to have some honorable mentions later in that video. I really think that the Steelers' first-round draft pick is going to be on my list today, so you want to stick around for that. And, of course, we got the Steelers live mailbag where you can ask me whatever you want. You can ask me anything you want about the Steelers, and let me know right now who's a player that you're keeping an eye on at the NFL Combine. Right now, today, I think it's defensive linemen that are showcasing their skills at the Combine today. Yeah. They're going to be running. They're going to be doing their agility drills. A bunch of different guys that the Steelers are going to be considering. A couple guys on my list today. Will Levis, okay. No, I'm not a big Will Levis guy. If you guys did not know that.
More of an Anthony Richardson fellow.
Yeah, more of it. Yes, I'm higher on Anthony Richardson than most. I am lower on Will Levis than most. I think Will Levis is not somebody you trade up for. Maybe if you're like Atlanta and he falls to you, maybe you take him. But I think that he could be. I think he's a serious bust candidate.
We have Jordan Addison, Drew Sanders, Brian Branch.
I love that. Drew Sanders. I love Drew Sanders.
Just some Jordan Addison love.
You know, Harrison Graham, our Bears host here, calls Drew Sanders Micah Parsons light.
Oh, that's what he said.
That's what he says about Drew Sanders. He says he's big.
I thought he said something else.
Well, he might have said something else. I don't know, but he said Drew Sanders is going to be somebody that's going to be able to rush the passer as an inside linebacker. He's going to be working out in a couple days. Steelers met with him earlier in the week, so that's definitely interesting. Another player I'm going to be keeping my eye on is offensive tackle from Oklahoma, Anton Harrison, because going into the draft process here, the knock on him is that he's not strong enough to handle NFL edge rushers. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does in the bench press, all these different things to try to showcase that he has the requisite strength to be able to anchor down and avoid the bull rush in the National Football League. So that's who I'm looking out for at the Combine this week. Let me know in the comment section who you are looking out for. And also, I want to give some shout-outs to the people that followed me on Twitter this week. My promise to you is that you give me a follow on Twitter at Jack_Sperry. It's right down there at the bottom there, at Jack_Sperry. I'm going to give you a shout-out here on Steelers Live. So thank you to Davis, Mania, I'm not going to say the number there, Anthony Renzelli, Jeff Zerfus, and then Camp Okemo. I'm probably butchering that. Ryan Wilt, appreciate you, dude. JC Shorb, Obenstein, Russell, thanks for the follow. And then 5 more here, guys. David M. McKnight, Daniel Seaman, Steel Pen 79. Looks like he's got a great Steelers man cave there. Looks awesome, Steel Pen. And then Craig Mullins, and then Sean. Thank you guys so much for giving me a follow on Twitter this week. And if you want a shout out on next week's Steelers live show, give me a follow on Twitter right now at Jack_Sperry. So let's talk a little bit about the players that you are going to be looking at in the NFL Combine this week. Chuggs.
I'm kind of excited to see about the defensive line / edge rusher position.
It's a good class.
And see kind of where they fall. You know, Andre Carter, huge human being.
Yeah, long arms.
Long arms. Where does he go? I've seen him as high as the teens, as low as middle second round, late second round.
Yeah, he's definitely a projection.
Can't remember. I believe his first name is BJ Ojulari.
Yeah, BJ. I love BJ Ojulari. Is he
better than his brother?
He is. In my opinion, he is. He's bigger. I think he's a little bit faster. I think he's a little bit more refined than Azeez was coming out of college. As an NFL prospect, B.J. Ojulari is the better prospect. Could be a Steelers second-round pick this year if he falls.
Does Lucas Van Ness go top 10?
Like,
top 15?
He didn't even play full-time at Iowa, though. That's the thing with me is that he didn't it's either Iowa, the coaching staff there are just absolute idiots, or this guy is not as good as people are saying. He's got an incredible bull rush.
And then
I will give him that. But I don't know.
D-line as well. Where does Benton from Wisconsin, where does he kind of fit in?
Yeah.
Also, Kalijah Cansey, one of the Pitt coaches said, one of the best defensive players he's ever coached.
Oh,
and Aaron Donald went there.
I took him in my last mock draft. I love Elijah Cansey. Now, some people say he's too small, and I think that he's probably going to have to play 3-4 defensive end. So it's still an interior pass rusher.
Yeah.
But the comparison to Aaron Donald is a bit much to me. Some like the people that really like him say he's the next Aaron Donald because he's a similar size. But, there's only one Aaron Donald on the face of the planet, and his name is Aaron Donald, all right? Elijah Cansey.
That's a fact.
I think that he could be.
There's probably more than one Aaron Donald on the face of the planet.
That's actually true.
Name.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
That's a very common
That
name.
is actually a pretty common name. But you get my point.
Yes.
Like, Elijah Cansey going to be a really good player in the league, in my opinion, in the mold of an Aaron Donald, but not quite as dominant, in my opinion. He's not going to win however many defensive player of the years that Donald has won.
I've been seeing a couple people already doing it in the chat, but just a reminder, we have a mailbag coming up. It's our second segment, so right now is the time. Go ahead and get your questions in, #Steelers, or if you want to skip the line, you can super chat. It's our second segment, is the Steelers Live mailbag. Later on, Jack will be breaking down 15 first-round targets for you guys.
Yep.
And also, not only do you skip the line if you super chat,
oh my gosh,
but we have a couple of super chat menu items. Any super chat gets you a shout out automatically on our Steelers mailbag. $5, here we go, chant. $20, you join the Hard Hat Mafia Club. It's a very prestigious club, but the biggest outcome of them all,
guys.
Every $50 in super chats at the end of today's show, I'm cracking an egg on Mr. Jack Sperry's head.
So here's the thing, guys. I said during the week that if we got 50 new subscribers, every 50 new subs, that we would crack an egg on my head. We got to about, I think, like 58. So we do have one guaranteed egg on my head at the end of the show. Okay, but here are the other ways that we can add more eggs to the total. If we can get to 100 subscribers now, like if we can get like 40 more subs on today's live show, add another egg. If we hit our likes goal for this video, okay, right now I see 16 likes in the chat right now. If we get up to our goal of 150 likes, it will add another egg to the total. It's a super easy way to support the channel. Click that like button. It takes you half a second to click that button, and it gets us closer to hitting our goal and adding another egg. And then also, like Chuggs says, every single $50 in super chats today, we're going to add another one. So now the count is at one.
Not one $50 super chat, every 50 in total.
In total, yeah.
So if 5 people send 10, that's an egg.
Yeah, that's an egg. And then if you send like 100 in, that's 2 eggs. So you could buy yourself an egg by yourself with a 50, or you could do whatever you want. But I'm just telling you guys right now, that right now we have one egg, and we can add eggs to the total throughout the show depending on how much you guys sub, how much you guys like, and how much you guys super chat here on the video. So coming up here, we got some great Steelers rumors coming to you from the NFL Combine. We got Jalen Carter, the latest on him. Is he going to fall? Is he going to be top 10? All these different things. We got a CBS Sports mock draft I'm going to be reacting to. There's some Cam Sutton news that we're going to be reporting here on the show today. And then also I've got 15 first-round draft targets. Somewhere in that list is going to be the Steelers' first-round draft pick, in my opinion. I'm going to be breaking down those names towards the end of the show. And then our second segment today is going to be that Steelers Live mailbag. And the way you get your question on that mailbag is use #Steelers along with your question, or super chat to get your question. Skip the line and guarantee that your question gets on the show. Okay, Chuggs, I am ready to get this first segment going. We're going to be diving into some awesome Steelers rumors. Are you ready to go, Chuggs?
Let's do it.
All right, man, let's get going. This is Steelers Talk Live. We're going to be jumping into rumors right now. Welcome into Steelers Talk, Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry. Today, we are going to be going over the latest rumors around the Steelers during NFL Combine Week. There's a bunch of stuff that we're going to be covering on today's show, but before we get into it, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel for Steelers draft coverage all offseason long. If you're looking for NFL prospect rankings, if you're looking for analysis, if you're looking for Steelers mock drafts, we have one every 2 weeks here on the channel. It's an excellent opportunity for you to get your Steelers news and rumors this offseason. Click that subscribe button for me right now. So now let's start with Jalen Carter, who has been the talk of the NFL scouting combine, and he has returned to Indianapolis after leaving for Georgia yesterday morning. So let's break down the events in order of what happened. So on January 14th, the Georgia Bulldogs celebrated their national championship title with a parade. Okay, later that night / early morning, early January 15th, okay, around 3 a.m., a car crashed and it led to the death of a Georgia player and recruiting staffer. Okay, then on March 1st, yesterday, an arrest warrant was issued for Jalen Carter for reckless driving and racing with the car that ended up crashing and leading to the death of the player and the staffer. Then again, on March 1st, Carter leaves the NFL Combine for Athens, Georgia, to essentially turn himself into police. They booked him, all these different things, and he was released on bail. He's still going through the legal process, but he was able to return today on March 2nd. He is back at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis, and to me, guys, this is an extremely a mind-blowing situation. I mean, this guy was projected to be potentially a #1 overall draft pick. This guy is arguably a generational type talent as a defensive tackle. This guy is athletic as it gets when it comes to this position. Like, this guy is expected to be one of the best interior pass rushers in the league, potentially right when he jumps into it. He's massively athletic. He's got the size. He's got the hand placement and the pass rushing skill set. And I'm very excited to see what he's going to be able to do in the NFL. But given all that's happened here with him over the last couple of days, he did put out a statement yesterday. I'm going to read you what he said here on the show. He said, "This morning, I received a telephone call from the Athens, Georgia Police Department informing me that 2 misdemeanor warrants have been issued against me for reckless driving and racing." He continued to say, "Numerous media reports also have circulated this morning containing inaccurate information concerning the tragic events of January 15, 2023. It is my intention to return to Athens to answer any misdemeanor charges against me." And he finishes by saying, "And to make certain that the complete and accurate truth is presented, there is no question in my mind that when all of the facts are known, that I will be fully exonerated of any criminal wrongdoing." Okay, so this situation is definitely interesting because he has returned to the Combine. He was booked yesterday. He's out on bail right now. And the big question surrounding him is, will he fall in the NFL draft come late April? Let me know what you think in the comment section right now. Will Jalen Carter fall out of the top 10 in the NFL draft? Type yes or no. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So whenever you get an ad break here on the show, go into the comment section, find that pinned comment, and answer today's question. All right, so next, CBS Sports put out their latest NFL mock draft, and I'm going to react to it here. You know, CBS Sports has had some really wild takes as of late. I have not been a fan of their mock drafts, but this week at number 17 overall, they have the Steelers taking none other than Jalen Carter. Yes, Jalen Carter, someone that just days ago was being projected as potentially the #1 overall draft pick in this year's draft class, going to the Steelers at number 17. Now, you know, with the whole legal situation, we really don't know how this is going to evolve over the next couple weeks and months. But CBS Sports here, they are projecting that it's going to get bad enough where somebody that is seen as a generational talent as a defensive tackle is going to slide all the way to number 17 for the Pittsburgh Steelers to take, and they have them taking it to add guys like TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, those guys. Let's take a look at his stats from last year. These are the reason why that he is so highly touted coming out of the University of Georgia. 32 tackles last year, 7 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 3 pass breakups. So this guy is a generational talent in my opinion. I love Jalen Carter. He's got the size at 300 pounds, 6'3", and then at that size, he is extremely athletic. Like, this guy has the quicks. He's got the agility. This guy is going to run. Well, if he ran the 40 this week, he's going to run really, really fast. And, you know, the pass rushing moves are there. He's ready to go. Like, he's not just a physical freak like a Brian Brzee is. This guy is ready for the NFL on day one to disrupt the pocket. I think that the value of interior pass rusher in the National Football League is so great. And if the Steelers could potentially get him at 17, that would be absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think of this pick and whether I think it's realistic in just a second. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor at Cultivate, the free browser extension that brings transparency to your Amazon shopping experience. Cultivate shows you the brand, seller, or product origin and identifies local alternatives that support local community efforts while saving you money. With over 50% of Amazon US sellers based in China, Cultivate offers a way to avoid trickery from these sellers and keep money in the US economy. Cultivate offers alternatives that are on average 30% less expensive than Amazon without additional costs such as Amazon Prime. It can even identify local alternatives that you can pick up on the same day. Cultivate users earn free donations as rewards for using the extension, and the more you use it, the more you earn in donations by increasing your level. In fact, Cultivate donates 51% of the revenue they make on your purchase. So what are you waiting for? Go to wecultivate.us/chatsports and download Cultivate for free. Let Cultivate bring transparency, savings, and community support to your Amazon shopping journey. Support the show and download with our link. It's down in the comments and description of today's video. So for me, guys, I don't know how this is going to go here the next couple weeks. I don't know how this is going to progress from a legal standpoint in the next couple weeks. But with what I know right now, if Jalen Carter falls to number 17, I think the Steelers should take him. I think that the prospect of adding this guy to the Steelers pass rush that already includes names like Cameron Heyward, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith. I mean, just take a look at this. Now, the Steelers are probably going to address nose tackle there, but putting Jalen Carter and Cameron Heyward together on those nickel packages on just about every single snap is something that no quarterback in the NFL wants to see. And then on the outside, you still have to deal with TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, both of which are going to be fantastic players in this league for a while yet. That's going to be one of the best pass rushing duos in the National Football League for probably the next 2 to 3 years. And if you have elite outside pressure combined with elite inside pressure, the Steelers pass rush will simply not be able to be stopped. So I think this is worth the risk, guys. But let me know right now, what is the percent chance that Carter falls to the Steelers pick at number 17? Scale it on a scale of 1 to 100 for me in the comment section. To me, guys, I think it's pretty low. I still think it's pretty low. He's still an elite prospect. I don't think this legal situation is going to progress much further. I think it's probably about a 5% chance. And, if it happens, great. But I don't think that Steelers fans should get their hopes up in the hope that Carter falls to them at number 17. All right, so we got some Cam Sutton news and updates here. We've been talking about Cam Sutton on the show a lot, his contract situation. Will the Steelers bring him back or won't they? ESPN reporter Brooke Pryor thinks that he's gone. He thinks that Sutton is going to price himself out of Pittsburgh. This is what she had to say about the Steelers cornerback. I think there is a greater need at corner. They like Cam Sutton. Omar Khan said they like Cam Sutton, but I think Cam could have priced himself out of Pittsburgh. He is going to command a fairly decent salary on the open market, which leaves a void in that room. And this is exactly what I've been saying on the show for weeks now at this point, right? His PFF grade last year, 71.6, which was the best among Steelers cornerbacks. It was pretty darn good. He's one of the most versatile cornerbacks in the NFL, which is why he's so valuable, right? You can play him in the slot. You can play him outside. He's good in both areas. So for championship level teams that are trying to win now, having guys with that kind of versatility is extremely valuable. And then both Cam and the Steelers have expressed interest in getting a deal done. Cam likes it in Pittsburgh. The Steelers like Cam being a part of their secondary. The question is the money going to be too much for the Steelers, who are really trying to prioritize the trenches, building the offensive line and the defensive line? Right now, his market value, based on what I've seen around different various different outlets, right? PFF, Spotrac, all these different sources that are projecting what he's going to make. It's going to average at about 3 years, $12 million per year, because there's going to be teams out there that are trying to compete right now that are going to be offering a lot of money because of that versatility. So if the Steelers want to keep him, if Cam Sutton doesn't want to take a team-friendly deal and he says either pay me my money or I'm gone, it's probably going to cost them 3 years, $12 million at least $12 million per season. It could even get up to like the $13 or $14 million range. And for a team that's trying to build the trenches, that's trying to not spend so much on the secondary outside of Minkah Fitzpatrick, I just don't know if they're going to want to give up that kind of money. But at the end of the day, I still do have hope that Cam Sutton will return and be a Pittsburgh Steeler in 2023. Cam Sutton is the type of guy that likes to be in Pittsburgh. The Steelers want to bring him back. I think because of that mutual interest in a reunion there, I think that Cam Sutton is eventually going to take a deal probably around the $11 million per season range, maybe even 10.5, maybe take a little bit of a discount to stay in Pittsburgh because he really does like it here, and I think a deal at the end of the day is going to get done, guys. So who's with me here? If you want Cam Sutton to re-sign this offseason, please, please, please like this video. It is a free and easy way to help out the channel. It helps tell the YouTube algorithm that you enjoy this Steelers content, and it pushes our videos to other Steelers fans who haven't seen us yet. So it'd be a big help if you go down, like this video for me right now. So last bit of news here, the NFL Players Association does this thing called the team report card, and it pretty much goes through different various levels of the staff, of the facilities that each team has, and it gives each team a grade on each one. So this is what the report card had for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Treatment of facilities, a D-, treatment of families, my bad, D-. D-. Nutrition is okay at B+. Weight room is about a C, probably pretty old. Strength room, I don't know what the difference between a weight room and a strength room is, but I guess the strength room is a lot better than the weight room. Training room, D-, not great for your injured players there. Training staff, a B+, locker room, D+, and travel, B. So these are kind of lower than I expected. I was a bit surprised to see that, the treatment of families was as low as it was, right? Pittsburgh, the Steelers organization is seen as a family organization. It's run by a family, the Rooneys. So it's weird to me that I see a D- on treatment of families. And another one that I kind of expected was the locker room. Because you take a look at the Steelers locker room right here, right? It kind of looks like a high school locker room, if we're being honest, guys. It's kind of basic. The lockers are a little bit smaller than you're used to seeing. And in comparison, here are some of the better locker rooms in the league, right? The Raiders. Look at that. Look how big the lockers are. Look how sweet and sleek that looks. And then, of course, the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, look at that. I mean, that is so much better than what the Pittsburgh Steelers have. I'm not shocked whatsoever that the locker room for Pittsburgh got graded lower. I mean, just look at that. Just in comparison, there is no comparison. Here in Dallas, Texas, there's probably better locker rooms for the high school teams here, if I'm being completely honest. Imagine going from like a Georgia or an LSU, and you got some of the best locker rooms in the country in college, and then you get drafted by the Steelers, and you're like, this is it? Like, I don't know, man. That's just me. But at the end of the day, guys, I just don't think that this locker room is very good. I wasn't surprised by that whatsoever. All right, guys, go ahead and subscribe for me right now if you haven't already. Right now, we are less than 300 subscribers away from 22,000 subscribers here on Steelers Talk. Help us be a part of this amazing milestone here, 22K. Absolutely fantastic given where we were when I started doing this channel. It's been fantastic, guys. Go ahead, click that subscribe button right now if you're looking for Steelers news and rumors content. All right, so here's the question, guys. Put in the chat right now. Will Jalen Carter fall out of the top 10 in the NFL draft? Yes or no? For me, I don't think he is. I still think that when it's all said and done, he's going to be a top 10 pick. What are you laughing at over there?
I'm just laughing. I see some of the old heads in the chat. Frank Campbell, ex-concept. Frank says, let's be honest, this generation is so pampered, it's ridiculous.
I love that, Frank.
Hey, but let's just be honest. If you're making millions of dollars and you're like, hey, where do I want to spend the season? Do I want to go to a place where I have a nice locker room with all my stuff nicely laid out, or do I want to go somewhere that has like YMCA benches?
Yeah, I mean, and apparently the training rooms suck too. Like they graded the training rooms a D-.
X-Concept said organizations like Pittsburgh don't have time to mess with all that.
I mean, Pittsburgh is blue collar. That's what I will say about it. There's nothing flashy about the Pittsburgh Steelers organization.
I swear, whenever I looked at that picture, do they still have like the metal folding chairs that they pull out? Like,
yes,
come on,
yes, and I can live with, having kind of a basic locker room. I can live with that kind of stuff. Maybe not the most luxurious.
X-Concept says I'm 28.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. But, I can deal with the locker room being kind of basic. It's like the treatment of families was the one that was
weird.
That was weird because the Rooney family in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization is seen as kind of like a as a family organization. So it's weird to me that the players have ranked this as a really, really bad organization for families.
And honestly, I think it's for that. I don't think it's necessarily treatment of families where the D- comes in. I wonder if that's more just like
living in Pittsburgh.
No,
I don't think that. No, I was going to say I don't think that's
accessibility.
Oh.
I don't think the families get to the amount of free tickets they get, the amount of free range of the facility they get if they're able to come in for practices, if they're able, like little things like that. I think that might play in to where, how many free tickets do you get? It's different between each family.
Sure. Yeah, that could be playing.
It's different between each team. It's different between each player of how many free tickets you get,
Yeah.
So I think stuff like that might come into play with treatment of families. Will they allow, like playoff games, like away playoff games?
Sure.
Do they bring the families with them? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. All right, let's get back on to Jalen Carter here. Let me see what some people are saying. Kenneth Tuzinski says no. Frank Campbell doesn't think so. Caleb Abel thinks yes. What are you laughing at over there?
Nelson, why are we talking about drapes and rugs?
That's a good question. I guess because the players wanted to talk about it.
Honestly,
the player organization was the one that brought it up.
Just going back to the picture, I don't think the carpets match to the drapes. For being honest. I don't. This is ugly.
Like at the end of the day, the locker room doesn't really matter. The product on the field is what matters. But like when it comes to the locker room, let's just say the Steelers are lacking a little bit. Oh. All right, guys, we're about to get into our Steelers Live mailbag. If you want to skip the line and get your question at the top of the show here, go ahead and super chat. We got a great promotion right now. Every $50 in super chats, we're adding an egg to the total. Right now, our goal is 150 likes. We're at about 30 likes. There's 85 people right now in the chat. You guys can get in there, like the video. We're trying to get up to 150. If we do that, we're adding another egg to the total. We're going to see how much eggs or how many eggs we can rack up by the end of the show.
Oh, dude, I want to smash some eggs.
Yeah, Jeremy has been looking forward to this all week. So again, here's what you have to do to keep adding eggs. So every 50 subscribers we get on the channel, adding another egg. If we hit our likes goal today of 150 likes, right now we're at 31. We need to get those likes going, guys. 150, another egg. And then every $50 in super chats today. Right now, we got one super chat in right now, total of $2, which we appreciate. Not Webb's World. You're gonna get on our mailbag here real quick.
Guaranteed way to get on the mailbag. If you use #Steelers, I'm just gonna pick through the questions, try to pick the best ones. If you want 100% certainty to ask Jack a question on this mailbag, you got a super chat.
And then, like I said again, $50 in super chats total. So you don't have to put in a 50. All right. $50 total, another egg to the total. At the end of the show, we're going to crack them all at the end. I can't wait to get going. Are you ready to get going on this Steelers mailbag, Chuggs?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get into this Steelers mailbag right now. Oh my gosh, there's going to be some good. Is there some good questions here?
Oh, there's some good questions.
All right, man, let's get into it. Now Webb's World is going to be kicking us off. Let's get into this Steelers Live mailbag right now. Welcome into Steelers Talk Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry. Today I'm answering your questions. We're recording this during Thursday's live show, and you guys have some really great questions. Chuggs has lined up a bunch of great questions for me here. I have not seen them. I can't wait to see them. But before we get into the questions today, do me a favor. And click subscribe for me. Click that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It is going to be the best way to get your Steelers news and rumors this offseason. Every time the Steelers make a cut, every time they make a signing in free agency, or if you want Steelers mock drafts, this is the channel for you. Make sure you go subscribe and turn on notifications right now so you can get all the Steelers updates this offseason. All right, so before we get into the questions here, if you're watching this and it's not Thursday, that means that you're not watching it during the live show. And if that's the case, then you can still send in super thanks. You can still get your question on next week's live show. So this is what you have to do. YouTube has super thanks, and you can donate outside of live shows if you want. All you have to do is press the thanks icon. It looks just like, I can't point my finger, but it looks like that heart with the money sign. And then, of course, we appreciate your support, and every super thanks is going to get a shout out on next week's live show, next mailbag. We really do appreciate everyone that watches the show. All right, guys, so we're going to start here with Not Webb's World, who put in a $2 super chat here and says Emmanuel Forbes or Brian Brzee. So I'm guessing that this is a scenario in the second round. If I have a choice between Emmanuel Forbes and Brian Brzee, who am I taking? Not knowing who the Steelers take with the first-round pick, I'm going to take Emmanuel Forbes. Like Brian Brzee, he's a good fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's somebody that if he hits, he's going to be a really good player in the NFL. He's got great athleticism, all these different things, but he is definitely a bust candidate. He's somebody that did not have the production in college to really, in my opinion, warrant a high first-round draft pick. I think he's probably going to fall somewhere after pick 15, second half of the first round, and then he might even slip into the second round if his interviews don't go well. But Emmanuel Forbes, I think, is somebody that's going to be a really good player for the Pittsburgh Steelers if he gets drafted, right? With the great pass rush that the Steelers have, putting quarterbacks under duress. Emmanuel Forbes has some of the best ball skills, and he really seeks out interceptions. He's an interception machine. He had 6 interceptions last year, tied for 3rd in FBS last year. He's somebody that's one of the best pick artists in college football, or at least he was, and I think that he could do the same in the National Football League. He's a little bit undersized, maybe, but I think he's going to be a really good corner in the league, so if I have to choose between these two candidates, I'm going Forbes all day long. All right, now next question comes from Matt Hyde, who asks, say Omar Khan gets his guy at 17. Do they trade the 32 pick for draft capital? They will be sitting on the first pick second day for 24 hours. So here's the thing with having the first pick in the second round. I think, when you have your draft board, you have certain guys that have first round pick value on there. And usually teams in the second round, what they hope happens is that one of the guys that they have a first round grade on slips to the second round. And the chances of that happening for the Steelers is pretty darn high, being at the top of this list. So, some teams might have 15 players with the first round grade. Some teams might have 20, right? The Steelers are going to have a certain amount of players that they feel are first round values. And I feel like at least one of those players is going to fall to number 32, first pick of the second round. And, if you feel like you're getting a value for somebody, if you have a first round grade on somebody and they're there for the taking at number 32, I don't think you want to trade that pick away. I think you want to take that player that you think is a value. So I don't think the Steelers are going to trade out of number 32. I just don't think that they will. I think that they will get whoever they want at number 17. I think they're much more likely to trade back from 17 than at 32 because they're going to have their number of guys that they have first round grades on. One of those guys is probably going to make it to number 32. They're going to probably take him. I don't think they're going to trade out of number 32 personally. Next question comes from Dixie Normus, nice. Cut Miles Jack and bring in Wagner. So I'm trying to get over the name here. But yes, I absolutely would cut Miles Jack if it meant that the Steelers could bring in Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner he graded as the best linebacker in football last year with the Los Angeles Rams, according to Pro Football Focus. He is somebody that always gets over 100 tackles. I mean, this guy is one of the best players in coverage, one of the best in run coverage. I mean, there's nothing that Bobby Wagner can't do. And then we look at what Miles Jack did last year. It was very disappointing given the amount of money that the organization paid him and then is going to continue to pay him if he stays on the roster. Now, if they don't get Bobby Wagner, I think they should probably keep Miles Jack. But if it means getting Bobby Wagner on the roster, 100% cut Miles Jack. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section right now. Would you take Bobby Wagner or Miles Jack? Type BW for Bobby Wagner or MJ for Miles Jack. This is the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get an ad break, go ahead, go into the comment section, find that pinned comment, and answer today's question. So a $5 super chat here from Not Webb's World, and he asked, Will Anderson said Darnell Wright is the best offensive line he went against in this pressure on Mike T to draft him with 17. So I think that there is pressure on the Steelers to take a tackle at number 17 for sure. I think that most Steelers fans agree that the Steelers offensive line needs another piece, and most fans would say that piece is left tackle. Now, is Darnell Wright a left tackle in the National Football League? Personally, I don't think he is. I think he's going to be a right tackle, or I think he's going to be a guard. And according to reports, that's what the Steelers think of him as well. Now, of course, Will Anderson lines up on that right tackle side of the formation, so he's never really had to go up against any of these left tackle prospects in the SEC like a Broderick Jones. So it's very interesting to me that he said Darnell Wright's the best because, I mean, if you look at the SEC, Darnell Wright was the best right tackle in the SEC. So that doesn't really surprise me at all. So I don't think that there's necessarily pressure to draft Darnell Wright specifically, but the pressure to draft a tackle is definitely there early on in this year's draft. So now next, do you like Wendy's? I know where this is going. And he asks, would you trade for DeAndre Hopkins? It really does depend on what Deontay Johnson wants, because in order to make a deal for DeAndre Hopkins, in order to make the money work, essentially, you got to send Deontay Johnson to the Cardinals. Now, I know a lot of Steelers fans would be in favor of that. I don't think Deontay wants a trade right now, and I don't think the Steelers want to trade him. DeAndre Hopkins is getting older, whereas you could argue that Deontay Johnson is just entering his prime. I'm not sure if I would make that deal. Honestly, I've said in the past that I would. Combining a guy like Hopkins with George Pickens, I mean, that would be an excellent combination of wide receiver 1 and 2. And maybe I would, in theory, if I were Omar Khan, maybe I'd make a call to the Cardinals to see what they would want for him. But at the end of the day, I just don't think a DeAndre Hopkins trade is going to end up happening. Next question comes from Caleb Ebel, who asks, "What do you look to draft a corner round 1?" So, I'm wondering what he's asking here. What do you look to draft a corner round? So I think he's asking, what do you look for to draft a corner in round 1? I'm looking for a complete cornerback prospect, somebody that has the speed, somebody that has the length, somebody that has the poundage, somebody that has good tape. You need to kind of take in all of the aspects of a player and kind of combine them. And you take a look at a guy like Christian Gonzalez, who has literally everything that you want. He's probably going to be a top 10 pick in my opinion. But then you got a guy like Kelly Ringo, right? Somebody that has all the physical tools to be a really great cornerback in this league, but his tape isn't as good. So you have to take into account all of these different variables. And then, you have to be pretty darn good in just about everything, in my opinion, to be a top cornerback prospect in the draft. And then if he's asking which corner would I want to take in round 1, number 1 on my list would be Christian Gonzalez. He's the number 1 corner, in my opinion, in this draft class. He's got the speed. He's got the versatility to play in the slot if you want. He's got the length. He's got the ball skills. He had 3 interceptions this past year, 3 or 4. I can't remember which one. But, Christian Gonzalez is my top guy. So however you wanted that question to go, I kind of answered it both ways for you there, Caleb. Next up on today's mailbag comes from Allie. Okay, I know this name. Allie Durout. What Steelers will have a breakout season? So I think that next year there's a bunch of Steelers that could have breakout seasons. So George Pickens is somebody that I'm fairly confident is going to ascend to star status in the National Football League next year. And then you got guys like Calvin Austin III coming off of injury, very dynamic player. Hopefully he can ascend and become that true wide receiver 3 for the Steelers in the slot. Then you got guys like DeMarvin Leal, someone that's a very, very versatile defensive lineman. Mike Tomlin's going to be able to use him in a bevy of different ways. Defensive end, defensive tackle. He can pretty much do it all, which is something that I really like about DeMarvin. And then guys like Mark Robinson, somebody that's a thumper. If he can understand, if he can really get a grip of the Steelers' concept of their defense, if he gets better in pass coverage, he's already great in run coverage, in my opinion. He just needs to get a bit more disciplined. He needs to get better in pass coverage. If he does those things, he's going to be a really good linebacker in the league as well. So I'll go with those guys. And then, of course, Kenny Pickett, the quarterback, could break out as well. But name somebody in the comments section right now. Who is your breakout player for the Pittsburgh Steelers next season? For me, I listed quite a few names there. For me, if I have to pick one, it's going to be George Pickens. But let me know who your breakout player is in the comment section right now. All right, so now there's another one from Do You Like Wendy's, who asks, Steelers sign OBJ. So I don't think this is going to happen. I think Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin, they feel comfortable with their wide receiver room right now. And I think that when you look at free agency, they're not going to try to sign someone to a big contract. And OBJ wants a massive contract. He wants to come in and he wants to get the ball as well. Sharing the ball between Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, and Odell Beckham Jr., that would be one tall task, along with Pat Freiermuth, by the way. That's kind of an impossible task for Kenny Pickett. I don't think the money works. I don't think he's necessarily what the Steelers are looking for. If the Steelers want to add a wide receiver this offseason, and I think they probably might, they're probably going to go get somebody in free agency on a cheap contract, or they're going to go get someone in the draft kind of on day 3, someone like a Xavier Hutchinson from Iowa State that can play kind of like a big slot. I think that would be a good idea, but OBJ is an absolute no for me. Next up comes from Hal Sherwood Lovehead, who says, can Pickett make the year 2 leap? I think he can. Now, it's going to depend on a lot of stuff. It's going to depend on Matt Canada, whether or not he progresses in his scheme from year 1 to year 2 for Kenny Pickett. He did not allow Kenny Pickett to have hot routes last year. Hopefully, he implements that this year, gives him more control of the offense. There's a bunch of different factors, and of course, he needs to get better in a couple of different areas. Deep ball accuracy needs to get better, in my opinion. The accuracy on his deep balls have just been a bit inconsistent, and then also his pocket presence, something that I haven't been a fan of his ever since he was in college. He got better as the season went on, but I need to see more improvement if he's going to make a major year 2 leap. If he makes this leap, the Steelers are going to be pretty darn good. So let me know in the comments section right now, how good will Pickett be next season on the Madden scale? So let's imagine you're playing Madden next season. What is going to be Pickett's overall ranking? Rank it from 1 to 10 or 1 to 100 for me right now. So next question coming in here from DJ KJ, who says, Steelers trade for DeAndre Hopkins, Taylor Lewan, Bobby Wagner, and Jalen Ramsey. If not, who's the best fitting player in the draft or free agency? Would Steelers trade for? So Taylor Lewan is a free agent. The Titans have already released him, so the Steelers could get him in free agency, and same thing with Bobby Wagner as well. The Rams have released him. The only player there the Steelers would have to trade for is DeAndre Hopkins. Like I said before, and Jalen Ramsey, of course. So I don't think a trade is going to happen for the Steelers this offseason. I think that in order to do that, you probably have to get rid of either Deontay Johnson or Alex Highsmith to make the money work. I don't think the Steelers want to trade either of those guys, so I don't think that really the money works out to go get a guy like DeAndre Hopkins or Jalen Ramsey. Great players in their own right. I would really like to see them in black and gold. I just don't think the Steelers' philosophy is going to be trade Alex Highsmith or Deontay Johnson in order to get them. As for Taylor Lewan and Bobby Wagner, very, very real possibilities that they sign as free agents. It's no secret that the Steelers are looking for a left tackle of the future. Now, Lewan is getting older. He's had injuries. Personally, I wouldn't bring him in, but he has said multiple times that he wants to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin. Then Bobby Wagner, somebody that I really want to bring in. If you have to cut Miles Jack to do it, absolutely go ahead and do that. Final question here on today's Steelers mailbag comes from Dominic Schrader, longtime fan here of the show. Appreciate your support, Dominic, who asks, all players drafted need some work and fine-tuning. Who are the players in this draft that don't? So the players that really don't are the guys that are going to go really, really high. So like Christian Gonzalez, cornerback from Oregon. Number 1 corner, he's got it all. He's going to be ready to play right away. Devin Witherspoon is another cornerback that I really like coming out of Illinois. He's ready to play day 1. Guys like Will Anderson Jr., guys like Jalen Carter. Those guys are finished products. Those guys are ready to go out of the bag day 1 in the National Football League. Same thing with Bryce Young, the quarterback from Alabama. It doesn't really relate to the Steelers because the Steelers aren't taking a quarterback. But, you ask for a couple different players that don't need that kind of fine-tuning. It's going to be the players that are really, really high up in the draft. And then, of course, you sprinkle in some of like the Tyree Wilsons that need a lot of help coming into the league, the kind of athletic freaks. But there are a couple players in this draft class like Gonzalez, like Witherspoon, that are ready to go day 1. So I would say those couple players there, Dominic. All right, guys, that'll be it for today's show. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter right now if you haven't already. If you give me a follow at Jack_Sperry, I will give you a shout out on next week's Steelers Live show. I appreciate you, Steeler Nation. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace. All right, so Chuggs, let me ask you this question. How good will Kenny Pickett be next season?
Ooh, Madden scale it? I might get some flack for it.
Uh-oh.
Madden scale, he's going to be a 76-77.
76?
He's going to be a 76-77. Madden scaling it, did not play a full season last year, only played a half year.
Yeah.
Was up and down in that half year. Start of the season, I'm giving him a 76.
So here's an interesting answer here. Mr. J says they'll give him a 78, but he'll end the season at an 85.
That could be a possibility.
I like that answer a lot.
He's not starting out above a 78. I'm telling you that right now. No way. He starts the season at a 76 or 77. I've played every single Madden since Madden 05. I can guarantee I would bet everything in my savings account right now that he doesn't go over an 80 overall.
Yeah, I
start the year.
I would say I would agree with Mr. J. Probably around 77, 78 to start the year. Maybe a little lower just because we know Madden, they are really, really scrupulous with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm just saying it's
like you look at the NFL community. Cam Heyward didn't get an All-Pro this year. He definitely should have got All-Pro this year. He didn't even make the Pro Bowl originally. He was an alternate. Like the Steelers organization sometimes, like, people know it as like a good organization, but individual players absolutely get lost in the shuffle like Cam Heyward has his entire career. Kenny Pickett is the type of guy that can do that.
And this isn't me saying I think Kenny Pickett's going to suck next year.
Yeah.
I just think Madden scale to start the year, and if I'm answering this question on screen, how good will Pickett be next season? I think he can get up to an 84, 85 overall.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to hit that next stratosphere of, being in a top.
He's not going to hit 90.
If you're above an 85 overall, you're a top 10 easy quarterback, maybe even top 5.
Yeah.
If you're above 85 going into 90 overall. I think he has the chance to be a top 15 quarterback next year.
I agree.
And that's what I'm saying. He's going to be in the low 80s towards the end of the year. He's going to be like 84, 85.
Yeah, when we're talking about Madden ratings here, I'm not sure if Kenny Pickett is a guy that's ever going to be above a 90. Like, he's never going to be an MVP caliber guy, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to be necessarily even an all-pro guy, maybe. But I think that he's going to be someone that's extremely solid in this league. And as he showed last year late in the year, he is very, very good playing under pressure in the fourth quarter, delivering W's for his team. So if the Steelers put a good team around him, they can compete.
Skill-wise, not being clutch, not decision-making. I'm just saying, like, skills.
Yeah, right. I know that's what you're saying.
I think he can be like Kirk Cousins plus. Like, just skills. Like, take the mind, take everything out of it.
So the only area I'll disagree with that is that Kirk Cousins cannot create out of the pocket.
That's
Kenny
fair.
Pickett, arguably Kenny Pickett's best quality right now is playing outside of structure, and like right now in the pocket stuff is where he struggles. When he gets outside of the pocket, he's got a beautiful throw on the run. Like he can really make some stuff happen. That's my favorite part of this game.
The one thing I haven't seen is him use his feet to pick up first downs consistently.
Sure.
Whenever the defense is in man, because that's where you see the two quarterbacks that are in the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
They're able on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, man coverage, everybody's covered, able to get 3 or 4 yards, get the first down and get down or get out of bounds.
Yeah, I really think that he's the type of runner that if you need him to get a first down, he can do it. But the thing with him is that he's the type of athlete that's athletic, throwing on the run outside the pocket. He's not necessarily the type of dynamic guy like a Lamar Jackson or a Justin Fields or, like you said, Jalen Hurts, where they're going to get out and they're going to, design a QB run game around them. Like, I really like Kenny Pickett. I think that he's got the playmaking ability. I think if he develops within the pocket, he's somebody that's going to be a good, solid quarterback in the National Football League for a long time. We're going to get into our last segment here in just a second, guys. But before that, here is your reminder here. We are running low on time here. We got about 53 likes here on the show. If we get up to 150, okay, so we got 98 people watching right now.
Actually,
What's up, Chuggs? Oh, okay, so we're switching this up. Okay, so Chuggs is breaking the rules here. So if we get to 70 likes, okay, we're 15 likes away from adding another egg. Right now, we added 50 subscribers, so we have 1 egg. Okay, so if we get another 50, that's another egg. If we hit 70 likes, 15 likes away here, guys, we're going to add another one. And then every $25 in Super Chats now, we're adding another egg.
Away?
We're just one $20 Super Chat away from adding another egg.
Sorry, guys. I had to change it. I want to crack some more eggs on Jack's head.
Chuggs has really been looking forward to this, and I had a feeling that one was just not going to be enough for one Jeremy Chuggs today. All right, guys, we're going to get into, in just a second, my list here. Top 10 list of the guys that I think are the most likely to be drafted by the Steelers at number 17 overall. I'm ready to get going. Are you ready to get going here, Chuggs?
I'm ready. Hey, let's try to get to 75 likes, or let's try to get to 70 likes before the segment, and then let's get some Super Chats in. We're $19 away from cracking another egg.
Yes. And here's the thing, too. If you send in a Super Chat, we will give you a shout-out on the show here after this last segment.
You'll get up on screen.
You'll get up on screen. If you have a question, I'll answer the question. Go ahead, get those Super Chats in, guys. Chuggs is breaking the rules on me here. He is giving you guys a discount. Might as well take advantage of it right now. We got 67 likes in there right now, guys. We need 3 more likes out of 100 people watching right now to like this video, and we are going to add another egg before this next segment. All right, guys, we got 2 more. Come on. We can get 2 more here before this segment, guys. Come on. We can do it. All right. We're good. We are going to get into
Let's do it.
some draft targets for the Steelers right now. Welcome into the show, Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry. This is Steelers Talk. Today, I am revealing the top 10 round 1 draft candidates for the Pittsburgh Steelers. To be clear, these are the top 10 guys that I think are going to be drafted, the most likely to be drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers on draft night in late April. So go ahead right now. If you're excited for the NFL draft, you're excited for the Steelers, see who the new Pittsburgh Steelers draft class is going to be, like this video right now. It's a free and easy way to help the channel. It pushes our videos out to new Steelers fans because you're telling the YouTube algorithm that you like our content. So if you like the video here, go ahead and like the video. Click that thumbs up button for me right now. Number 1 on my list, Jalen Carter. We have talked about him a ton on this list, and I'm kind of starting out here with 2 names where the guys that I would potentially trade up for. So Jalen Carter, somebody that's been going through some legal trouble as of late. We've talked about it on the show before, but long story short, guys, it's looking like he's going to fall a little bit. He's probably not going to go number 1 overall like he was projected to be just a couple of days ago. But, it's looking like that he's going to fall a little bit. I don't think he's going to get to 17, though. I really don't. I think that if the Steelers want to go grab him, they're going to have to trade up, probably within the top 10. After he slips to like 8 or 9, they'd have to move up and take him. I think that he's an excellent player. He's got the size that you look for. He's got the best athleticism of almost any defensive tackle I have ever evaluated. He's got great hand placement. He's got great pass rush moves. He affects the pocket. He's going to be an extremely valuable player at the next level. I would trade up for Jalen Carter if it doesn't cost the Steelers too much. Then the other player that I would trade up for is Peter Skoronski, the offensive tackle out of Northwestern. When it comes to Peter Skoronski, there's no other offensive tackle prospect in this year's draft that is as technically refined as Peter Skoronski. The pass protection footwork, the hand placement, all these different things. It's so technically refined. He's got the size you look for at 6'4", 315. He's got the athleticism to be in a zone run blocking scheme. He's got the power to be in a power run blocking scheme. This guy has it all except for the arm length. And I've seen guys like Rashawn Slater have similar sized arms, arm length wise, be elite in the NFL. So I think that if you have the technical refinement, you can make it into the National Football League. I think this guy's going to be an excellent offensive tackle in the National Football League. So let me know. Right. So pretty much right now, guys, these are the 2 guys that I'm trading up for. Carter, Skoronski. These are the 2 talents that both fit a need for the Steelers and are good enough players to be trading up for if I'm Omar Khan. If I'm going to be giving up future draft capital for a player in this year's draft class, it's either going to be for Jalen Carter or Peter Skoronski moving up inside the top 10. So be honest with me right now, guys. What player would you consider trading up for in this year's draft class? Is it the 2 guys that I said? Is it either Carter or Skoronski? Is it somebody else? Is there somebody else that you really want the Steelers to go get this offseason? Let me know in the comment section right now of a player that you would consider trading up for. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So whenever you get an ad break here on the show, go into the comment section, find that pinned comment, and answer today's question. Next player on my list, someone that I am a big fan of, Devin Witherspoon, the cornerback out of Illinois. Now, I've said this about Witherspoon a ton. He's got the best film in this entire draft class. Like, it's better than Christian Gonzalez, and I love Christian Gonzalez. It's better than Joey Porter Jr. It's better than all these other guys. Elite cornerback class here, in my opinion. This guy has the best tape out of all of them. He is a hard hitter. He sticks with guys in man coverage. He's got great zone instincts as well. At 6'1", 180, he needs to get a little bit bigger to be a true lockdown number 1 cornerback and contend with some of those stronger receivers like the DK Metcalfs of the world. But I really think that he has pristine technique. He's got some of the best tape I've ever seen from a college cornerback. I think he's going to be a fantastic player at the next level. If he falls to 17, the Steelers should absolutely consider taking him. Next guy on my list, Broderick Jones. Now, out of all the offensive tackle prospects in this year's draft class, I think the most likely to end up a Steeler is Broderick Jones. Now, Broderick Jones, someone like a Mel Kiper Jr. doesn't like Broderick Jones as much as I do. Like, 6'4", 310 pounds. He's got the size that you look for. He's got the arm length you look for. He is a mauler in the run game. He didn't allow a single sack in the SEC, the best conference in college football in 2022. Broderick Jones is the real deal, in my opinion. I wouldn't necessarily trade up for him because right now the draft media doesn't really value him as like a top 10 or even some people a top 15 pick, so I wouldn't trade up for him, but if he falls to number 17, this is probably the guy I'm taking if I'm Omar Khan. All right, guys, before I reveal the rest of my list, let's have a word from our sponsor at Fanatics. Go ahead. They have great terrible towels. Official terrible towels on their website, guys. I got mine from Fanatics. I get all my Steelers gear from Fanatics. Actually, they got a bunch of different designs. They got a Spanish one. They've got a camo one. They've got a Father's Day one if you want to get one for your dad, a special gift for your dad this holiday season or Father's Day season, whatever you want to call it. There's a Mother's Day one. There's a Acrisure Stadium one. They got a bunch of different designs. So whatever your flavor of terrible towel is, Fanatics has it for you. Go to chatsports.com/terrible towel to get yours today. You're not a true Steelers fan without a terrible towel, so get your terrible towel today at chatsports.com/terrible towel. Next up on my list here, Calijah Kancey, defensive tackle from the Pitt Panthers, somebody that I am a big believer in. Now, some people say he's too small, and I understand that. At 280 pounds as a defensive tackle, I do get why people say that Calijah Kancey can't be a defensive tackle in the National Football League. But you look at guys, and by the way, this is not a comparison. You look at guys like Aaron Donald coming out. Okay, some guys that are smaller. If you just have man strength like Calijah Kancey has, I mean, you take a look at this guy's film. He is manhandling people at 280 pounds. He is manhandling people that are 40 pounds heavier than this guy, man. Like, this guy is a really, really good player. He's got excellent hand placement, superb feet, and quickness, and all the good stuff that you look for in an interior disruptor at the NFL level. I took him number 17 overall in my latest Steelers mock draft. The link is in the description of today's video if you want to check that out. A full 7-round mock draft pre-combine. I had Calijah Kancey going 17 because I am a big believer that the Steelers are going to be trying to get interior pass rush help, and Calijah Kancey can help them a ton. So now moving on here, cornerback Joey Porter Jr., somebody that's been mocked to the Steelers a ton. Mel Kiper Jr. has mocked him to the Steelers twice now in his first 2 mock drafts. And plain simply, guys, Joey Porter Jr. is a really good prospect. Like, one day, he could be one of the best cornerbacks in the National Football League, in my opinion. That's 6'2", 198 pounds. He's got excellent size. He's got really elite arm length. Like, you're going to see it at the combine later this week. He's going to test out of this world, off the charts when it comes to arm length. Like, it's just freaky how long this guy is. And then, there is some concerns in man coverage, in zone coverage. Sometimes it can be a bit inconsistent. Sometimes he can be a bit grabby. He only had 1 interception in his time in college, but at the end of the day, they just didn't really target this guy a whole lot, so that interception production doesn't really scare me too much. In my opinion, he's going to be a really good player in the NFL. I think he might take a little bit of time to kind of work out some of the kinks in his game. He's a little bit inconsistent in coverage, like I said. Some people think he's going to move over to safety, but at the end of the day, at 198 pounds, this guy is a freak when it comes to strength. Like, there's no wide receiver in the NFL that can block this guy. Maybe not even George Pickens, and he's a beast. So I really think Joey Porter Jr. is a good player. Wouldn't mind the pick whatsoever. So go ahead right now, smash that sub button for me if you love the Pittsburgh Steelers and you want draft coverage all offseason long. From player rankings to player analysis, Steelers mock drafts every couple of weeks, right? We have it all for you here on the channel. Also, free agency. Every time the Steelers make a move this offseason, we're going to have you covered. So click that subscribe button for me right now. Next on my list, offensive tackle Anton Harrison. Now, I took Anton Harrison with the 32nd pick in my latest Steelers mock draft, but if rumors are to be believed, he is going to really test well at the combine in the strength category. So I'm talking about bench press, that sort of stuff. If he tests well in that department, that takes away the last concern I have in his game. He's an incredible athlete for his size at 6'5", 315 pounds. He only allowed 1 sack last year. The production is there for me. I like the size. I like the athleticism. I like the upside with Anton Harrison. And a lot of other people do too. Mel Kiper Jr. had him going 13th in his last mock draft to the New York Jets. I'm a big believer in Anton Harrison. If he tests well at the combine, I think he's going to be a really good player in this league. All right, next on my list, Brian Branch. Maybe the best defensive back in this year's draft class. This guy has it all, man. At 6 foot, 193 pounds, you can put him wherever you want in the defensive secondary. If you want to put him in the slot, right, and be your slot corner, your nickel, you can do that. If you want to put him at strong safety, in my opinion, you can do that. He's an excellent tackler. If you want to put him at free safety, you can do that. He's got the speed and the ball skills to do that. If you want to put him at outside corner even from time to time, I think you can do that as well with a versatile player like this, a versatile chess piece. Like defensive minds like Mike Tomlin can have a field day. Branch is somebody that's been mocked to the Steelers multiple times this offseason. I wouldn't mind whatsoever if the Steelers brought him in, especially if they don't get a deal done with either Cam Sutton or Terrell Edmunds. All right, guys, if you want to shout out on the next Steelers live show, we have them every single Thursday. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter at Jack_Sperry. My promise to you is that if you follow me on Twitter, I will give you a shout out at the top of the show. So go ahead, follow me on Twitter right now for additional Steelers news and rumors content. All right, the last two guys on my list here, Bryan Bresee, defensive tackle from Clemson, athletic freak, somebody with extremely high upside, but he is falling down draft boards a little bit because, plain and simply, guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The film kind of stinks. Like, it's very inconsistent. He shows flashes every single game, but the production in college just isn't there, in my opinion. You look at the size, 6'5", 305. Like, he could be the replacement for Cam Heyward. Apparently, the Steelers are really interested in Bresee because he already has an existing relationship with Mike Tomlin, the head coach. He visited Clemson a bunch in the off seasons, and he would talk with Bresee, and apparently their meeting went really well. So he's on this list, not because I necessarily want the Steelers to take him. I'd rather take Kalijah Cansey out of Pitt. But it seems like the Steelers will have significant interest in a guy like Bryan Bresee. And speaking of the Clemson Tigers, Myles Murphy is apparently on the Steelers' radar as well. Sports Illustrated's Noah Strackbein said that the Steelers are highly interested in Myles Murphy, who has been falling down draft boards. A couple of weeks ago, this guy was a consensus top 10 pick. And then people looked at the film, and again, they looked at these Clemson Tiger defenders, and they say, man, these guys kind of stink. Like, Trenton Simpson is the same way. Like, all these guys from Clemson that are supposed to go high, I look at their defensive film, and none of them are really producing at a high level. They're not winning their assignments in college. How are we supposed to expect these guys to perform at the next level? I just don't see it. But like I said, Mike Tomlin, very close with the University of Clemson, might be looking at a guy like Myles Murphy, once again an athletic freak, high upside edge rusher. He's falling down draft boards right now. Very, very possible that he's there for the Steelers at number 17. Now I want to go over some honorable mentions here. Some guys that either I don't think are going to be there for the Steelers at 17, or I just wouldn't take them at number 17, guys. So Christian Gonzalez is a guy I think he's going to go top 10. I think the Detroit Lions are going to be taking a good long look at Christian Gonzalez. They're at pick number 6. I think that's probably where he ends up going. I don't think he's going to be there for the Steelers at 17. And then also because this cornerback class is so good, I wouldn't trade up to go get him. You can get a quality corner later in the draft. Then you got Paris Johnson Jr., somebody, I said I would trade up for Peter Skoronski. I wouldn't do that for Paris Johnson Jr. Now, I understand that Paris Johnson Jr. has his supporters out there. He's a good player. He's a good prospect. He's just not somebody that has the pedigree, in my opinion, on tape to say, I'm going to trade up to go get that guy, give away future draft capital to go get him. And then Jordan Addison, is it possible they take a wide receiver in round 1? I guess, and this is really the only guy I could potentially see them taking. But at the end of the day, guys, I just think that they're going to try to build the trenches a la Howie Roseman, try to build this organization the same way the Eagles have over the last couple of years. Picking a wide receiver with your only first-round draft pick is not the way of the Roseman, so I don't think they go Addison either. Then Lucas Van Ness, someone that's been getting some buzz on Steelers Twitter because he had apparently a really nice interview with the Steelers this week in Indianapolis, someone with a very powerful edge rush. I just personally wouldn't take him. I wouldn't take an edge rusher in the first round. If I'm the Steelers and I want an edge rusher, I would go get one in the second round or later. First round really isn't where the value is, in my opinion, for edge rusher in this class. And then finally, Antonio Johnson met with the Steelers today at the Combine. Today is Thursday, by the way. And Antonio is somebody that's a really good player, really like him. I just don't foresee him being a true option for the Steelers because I think Brian Branch would probably be there. He would be their top safety on their board. And then also it's very possible that the Steelers bring back Terrell Edmunds. If that happens, Antonio Johnson should not be on their radar in round 1, in my opinion. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I appreciate you, Steeler Nation. If you made it to the end of the video, you are a true fan of the channel. Type "Here we go" in all caps to let me know that you were here. I appreciate you, Steeler Nation. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace. All right, so Chuggs is going to get the eggs right now. So we got, if someone puts in a $20 super chat in the next 2 minutes, we will add another egg to the total. Right now we got 2. We have one for getting over 50 subscribers this week, and then we have one for hitting our like goal. We got 79 likes right now. Thank you guys so much for clicking that like button. We got 100 people watching right now. I'm about to get doused with some eggs. We got 2 right now. Someone puts in a $20 super chat. We're going to add a 3rd one right now. And here's Marshall Green coming in. Our Giants host, Marshall Green, he's coming. He wants to see this right now. Oh, my goodness, guys. I thought the hot tortilla was bad. Multiple eggs smashed on my head. That might be worse, man. My hair is going to be bad today.
Give this man a follow on Twitter. He's doing it for the Steelers. Jack _Sperry. Eggs are going on his head. Show this man some love. Let's go.
All right, guys. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to take off my headset. You're not going to be able to hear me. Chuggs has got. Marshall Green will be our color commentary here. So Chuggs has his stool. You want to come into shot a little bit more, Chuggs? Again, guys, if you want $20, we're adding another egg. So I'm just going to throw that out there. All right, so I'm going to take this headset off, guys. Once I do that, he's going to smash the eggs on my head, and then we're going to end the stream, guys.
Honestly, $20, we're losing money. This egg
Yes.
is $25.
Yeah, have you guys seen the cost of eggs lately? It's ridiculous. All right. Thanks, Biden.
When did Sperry get shorter than Chuggs?
That was crazy.
Yeah, no, Chuggs just had an incredible growth spurt, actually. All right.
Are we ready for this? Do they go by Steelers Nation?
Yes.
Steelers Nation, are we ready for this? If you're ready to see Jack Sperry have eggs cracked on his head, I want you to type me in the comment section right now. If you are hyped about seeing your fearless leader, Jack Sperry, have eggs cracked on his dome.
Cheap, he didn't even go out and buy a new one. He just brought the eggs.
These are eggs from home. He was supposed to cook his girlfriend scrambled eggs tomorrow morning. That ain't happening. Type me in the comment section if you're ready to see Sperry get egged. Is anyone ready? I don't see any me's. There's one after high school show in the chat. What up, what up?
You're not taking that off?
No, I'm not taking this off.
And there's number 1, Sperry. He has yolk. That's not conditioner, baby. That's not conditioner. Oh, that sweater is ruined, Sperry.
I told him to take it off. He said no.
It's not. It'll be Steelers yellow.
It's like coming down.
It's dripping. Drip, drip. Drip, drip.
Dripping. Sperry's dripping. Sperry's got some drip.
Oh! Oh! You can hear that one. It's cold. Ah! Does it taste good?
$10 and I'll do another one right now.
$10 super chat. This is gross.
Hope you guys are happy. 10 seconds.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nothing.
Did we get one? No.
Yes. We did. Not.
Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. One more for the road. We call that an egg.
Tell me you guys are done with seconds.
All right, we are done. We are done.
Next up, we have our second mailbag.
Should I end the stream?
Yes.
All right.
Go ahead and push in screen as well.
Yeah. All right, guys.
How to do that.
Appreciate you tuning in. I'll see you guys next week. See you guys tomorrow.